Hello everyone, happy Friday. So this is gonna be take 3 of this really fun Valentine. And we're doing 3 ball jars. I found my favorite ball jar stamp, so I'm thrilled. We're gonna start with the Pebble Beach paint pad, the archival ink by Ranger, which I love. And I love the Pebble Beach because it is not, if you use black for this, you would be surprised at how jarring it is. No pun intended, jarring, ball jar. Okay, so I wonder how many people clicked off after my, my dad joke. Bad dad jokes. Okay, there's the second one. They don't have to be exactly level with each other. I'm going to put them on kind of a farm table at the end, but you know, it's sometimes when they're not exactly, I'm going to put them purposefully off center from each other. Okay, so we're done with that favorite ball jar. We're going to start today with, I wanted to put a little Valentine message in the middle. So take your pencil and take a ruler and we're going to put a label in the middle of here. And then we're going to paint these. I'm going to stamp it after I paint it. Doesn't matter. You could do it before because they don't run. But I'm going to mix up, we're going to use magentas and reds and some periwinkles, purples, and blues with this. So we're going to, this is my 48-piece A Gallo set, which is all non-toxic pigment. I just ordered it. It was a splurge. My husband is retiring today from full-time employment after 40 years. And I bought it before we went on retirement income with you know, our own cold hard cash. They're not expensive, but they're really beautiful pigments. I'm actually very happy with them and have been playing around with those a lot. So this is their 48-piece, 48 color palette. I'm going to take, you can use whatever magenta you have. I'm such a sloppy painter. I'll slow down a little bit. And I think the important thing, these dry very quickly and they don't smear, this Ranger archival ink. And, but I'm working really hard to stay inside the lines when I'm putting the glass in, but also to go all the way up to the edges, because if you leave little white spots on the edges, it looks funny. So get in your pink, and then I'm going to come in with darker pink to kind of darken up. Now remember, this is going to dry lighter, but I like kind of the washy nature, the not splotchy. You know, you want to get your colors darker in some areas and lighter in others. And I like to do, we're going to go up the right side with dark, kind of like the light's coming from this way. You're going to rinse your brush and pat it dry and just kind of pull it, get that pigment flowing a little bit more into the jar. All right. I'm just going to pull these across here and leave some kind of highlight areas, if you will, with the glass. All the way down here. All right. And I'm even going to pull out. I could pat it gently with this to make it look like a highlight on that side of the glass. I'm also going to want to kind of do it there. There you go. Okay, and now we're going to do this. We're going to do pink in the middle and do like a real pretty turquoise blue for the glass in the middle, like a sea green turquoise. And you can start very light with the water with a little bit of color in there so you can see where you're going. Put on your glasses if you have them, that helps. And then this is the only real like part where I'm trying to be pretty careful going around these edges. My husband bought this new Christmas blend coffee, which seems to be super caffeinated. So I'm hoping my hand is not wobbling too much. All right, now we're going to come back in, and especially at the bottom where it's up against the table and the light's not bouncing around on the inside, leaving these nice little, you know, lighter areas of the glass. It's going to look darker at the bottom. And now we're going to do the top of this one. I just think these little colored transparent ball jars are the cutest thing. I have quite a few of them here because we have a big garden, and for years I've been attempting to can things. I've pretty much only refrigerator pickled things, but I have a canner. I'm just afraid of poisoning my whole family with canning. But this year I think will be the year that we're going to actually use the canner and not just do refrigerator cucumbers. So I don't know how I end up with tons of ball jars. I pick them up wherever I go. All right, now we're going to drop a little more color. I just love the color flow that you get when doing these colored ball jars. Now, if you want and you love drawing, you can freehand these. I just really like, I love this stamp. As you know, if you follow my channel, I absolutely love this stamp, this ball jar stamp. Okay, last one we're going to do in a really pretty purple. Let's see. That's a nice transparent light purple. So we're going to do the whole jar with this. And we'll start out really light and watery. Light and watery to get this whole ball jar wet. And very carefully over to here. A little more water. And I've got this super wet, so while I let it dry a little before I drop in the darker purple, make sure you get all your edges here. It's funny, you feel like you go up to the edges, but you don't. There, so while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to come back in here and do this pink label, and I'm not going to touch it up against the purple, or I'm going to get, against the blue. Now watch, I will. The minute I say that, I will. I'm going to leave a little border there so that we don't get a purple blend where I don't want it. I want this to be just like a light pink label with a little white, leave a little white border in there, because if it is a label, a lot of times it does have a border. So we'll just intentionally leave a white border. There we go. We're going to stamp Be Mine onto that. All right, now let's go back in here with darker, maybe a little less water, more pigment. Although I don't mind the bloomy kind of spread of pigment with this. Here we go. We're gonna bring it along the bottom of here. I think I'm gonna I gotta come back in and put a little bit, another dark wash under the lip of this. All right, now let's drag this up lightly. All right, pull it in a little bit and wipe it out in the middle and come in along, put it a little darker in the crevices of the jar, and even a little darker along the back. Okay, one more dark swatch along the bottom, and I'm gonna let that dry like that. I'm gonna go in with a little, just drop a little dark under here. I want to darken that a little, maybe even come in with dark there. There we go. All right, let that do its thing. Boop, boop. All right, there we go. And if we wanted, I don't know if I want to take out a little, there we go, take out a little spot there. Okay, now this is going to dry a little bit before I stamp on my Be Mine. So let's start with the pretty purple flowers over here. And I'm going to go in with a very dark purple, darker than this one. Even a little, there we go. And we'll start, when I do these, I love these delphinium-like flowers. I could even do, maybe I'll make it even a little bluer. We'll add a little blue to that. There we go, to make it more of a blue purple. And we'll start up here. And I like, when I do my delphiniums, they're very not perfect, very kind of scribbly. I'm not trying to do, I'm trying to just kind of suggest these little fluffy 5-petaled flowers. And I sometimes come in and even lighten up the top because we want it to get a little darker as it goes towards the bottom and a little bigger. I know they almost look like hollyhocks. They're kind of these are my favorite. They're a cross between a snapdragon, a delphinium, and a hollyhock. I just take what I like the best out of all 3 of the flowers and kind of combine it. So I go in with another dark drop in the middle, and then I like to go in with a real pretty, mix up a green that you like, kind of a blue spring green, and we'll start here at the bottom and just put this in here. It's going to run a little, which is fine because it looks like it's coming through glass, but if you lightly touch it to your flowers, it's going to bleed nicely, I think. I love to get a little green going into my little flowers. I think it's pretty. All right, little leaf here, and we're going to go up and off the top and put a few little cute leaf buds in here. Like I said, I'm not following you know, a picture of a delphinium flower. Now I'm going to go in, I think, with, let's see what this blue is. This is a real dark blue. Do I want to do that? Maybe I want to go in with a yellow. Let's see if I can mix a nice little, that's more of a green because I used a dirty brush. Let's see about adding just a touch of yellow. Now it might gray it up too much, but sometimes it makes it look, I like the color blends that you get. We'll put a little drop of yellow. There. I'm gonna come in even, I think, with another little drop of dark here at the bottom. Really bring out some of those. There we go. All right. Boop, boop. All right. I'm going to leave that for right now to kind of run into the flowers. And then in the middle, I wanted to do a heart tree. I've seen them pop up around on Pinterest. I think they're really cute. And I think the best way to do it, because I'm putting them on twigs, is I'm putting the hearts in first. If you put the twigs in first, it's easier to work the twigs around the heart than it is to work the heart around the twigs. Because this is the 4th time I'm doing this particular painting. I'm trying to come up with one that I love. I love elements of each of the ones that I did. So do a nice big heart in the middle. I'm going to give it a little shadow on one side. And let's do a little periwinkle heart here. And they can be different sizes. They don't have to be, I like a combination of big and little hearts. So, boop. You know, painting a heart, it's kind of like painting a circle. It gets wonky really fast, doesn't it? Okay. Bring it a little pointier here. Okay, let's see. And let's do some more pink. Light, 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 light pink. Not dark. Do a nice little heart here. I think we'll do 5. I kind of follow like the elements of the principles of design and gardening, where an odd number of plants looks better. I feel like an odd number of hearts looks better. There we go. Okay, there we go. And let's see, we're gonna do that. That is a little too dark. I'm gonna pull some of that out of there a little bit. I don't like the way that was getting a little too pronounced there. Okay, and one more. We'll do one up here. And just trying to make it not be at the same level of the other heart. There's another one. And maybe we'll do a little blue one over to the left. Maybe a bluish purple. I'll do a purpley one hanging off the edge here, so that the little twig comes out here. Boop. All right. Nice. And gonna let that dry a little before I start getting in there with the twigs. This one we're gonna do pink flowers. Bring some of that pink over, and we're going to start with we're gonna do the dot flowers that everybody does on YouTube. For years, these things pop up on my feed, and they're so fun. And they're so simple. You do 5 dots. Now the 2 in the bottom are stuck together. I'm going to do those first because they should have not been touching each other. Drop your brush in water, remove some of it, and then just come in from the edge and pull out. I almost smeared my heart. Come in and just kind of pull your petals out. Dip it, get some of that pigment off, come in and touch that dot and pull the color out. This one, so I'm putting my hand this way so you can see what I'm doing. And get a little closer with this one. Now, what I like to do is get a lot of pigment and a little water and come into the middle here. Drop a nice drop and it'll bleed out into that flower. Now we'll do another one. It almost looks like a giant dianthus. Let's do it in a slightly different color. We'll do that mixed with a little bit of red. Let's mix some red and magenta together so that there's a little variety. We'll do one here. 1, 2, 3. You want a lot of pigment when you do this, and put a nice watery drop up there. And let's come in. We'll make this one even bigger. See how it really dilutes the pigment. So if you go in with not enough pigment, it's going to be just too light, I guess. Oh, there's my dog snoring. I don't know if you heard that. Don't want you thinking it's my stomach growling, because it wasn't. All right, we're going to come in here. And you want to drag the petal out, but not touch the other petal. All right, let's see what this one, I might even I'm going to let it touch this other one, which might mess it up, but let's get in here with a nice touch of red. A nice big red center on this. There we go. And let's do a third. Maybe we'll do just some little pink teeny flowers above that. Well, let's see. I'll come back to that. I'm going to let those dry so that I don't. No, we'll do 3. We'll do a third one. We'll do a third one that's just kind of coming off to the side over here. Let's see. Maybe one that's just kind of. No, we'll do some little cute little flowers here. We'll do a little third one. Oh, I drive myself crazy with this stuff sometimes. We'll do maybe the top of, how about the top of one right here? 1, 2, 3, and then we'll barely see that. We're going to go like this. 1, 2, and a third one here. Trying not to ruin the nice little, and the suggestion of one here. All right. And let's boop, boop. Do a little here. There you go. So that's the suggestion of one. And then we'll do a nice light, maybe some light purple flowers over here. I don't want it to be too, just some little tiny, add some greenery to these cute little, it almost looks, I don't want it to look like lavender. We want it going in all the directions. There we go. We'll pull that in with some greenery. And let's see. I think it's time to work on the middle a little bit. We're going to take our little letter stamps. You can freehand it if you want. I just love these little stamps. I love to paint and I like stamping. So I just kind of do a little bit of each. We'll put the B up here, and what you don't want to do, hopefully I don't demonstrate for you, you want to make sure you don't get the corners of the stamp covered with, see how it gets stuck on the edge there, or it touches. You can easily like take that edge and get a big square on there if you aggressively, I'm just going to push it in the middle and not wobble it too much. Good. And I don't care. I'm not a stickler for it being level. I think it looks a little cuter and a little more farmy, folky. Having it not be completely, I'm a big proponent of imperfection. That's how you know that a human made it nowadays and not like AI, which seems to be everywhere. Okay, I didn't get, my E is not getting, there we go. I had to really push on this, and then I'm going to wipe the sides off because that will get on my thing. Let me get on my painting. I'm going to just push it in the middle. Oh, I wobbled it and I didn't mean to. Let's see. Oh, good. Okay, so I can come over this with a little red, just a touch of red paint. I should use a smaller. Some of these areas that didn't fill in, you can go like this. There. I wish that was over a little bit. But it's not. I like imperfection, but not that imperfect, but that's okay. It almost looks like BMI. I don't know if I want to, I'm not going to mess with it and put a little, I could make this tail a little longer. There we go. So let's do, when you do the stick that goes on here, you can either paint it or you can come up, I have these watercolor pencils. I'm doing, you know, like a thing where you have all these artists that say, use what you have. And I do have these, and I haven't used them. So I'm really making an effort. I didn't want to bend that, to use what I have. Let's see, we're going to go like this. And there's one that's going to come over here. And this one can go off of here. They can crisscross. This can go here and here and there. All right, so this one, we don't want this disappearing into nowhere. I'm going to have this come down, crisscross that. Okay, and I want it to be a little lighter in here. I want it to be darker outside of the glass because visually the glass would appear lighter behind the glass because it's filtering out some of what you can see. Now you can go in and make these darker and run along them with water, but if you do run along with water on these, they will kind of somewhat spread. So I'm going to try to avoid doing that. Also, what I'm going to do is I am going to add, I'm going to use a gray watercolor pencil. You could use a micron marker to kind of go up and over. Okay, this is going to go here. That's kind of sideways. Boy, you get to see a lot of imperfection today. Maybe we'll go up like this because it doesn't make sense if it's... These are little hanging hearts. This one's gonna come up here. There we go. So these are hanging off the tree. Now, what I did want to do is I want to make this a plaid. I love plaid. And whoops, we're gonna get a good amount of red on there. And we're just gonna go, well, we're gonna go straight down the middle. We'll go top to bottom first. And you want it pretty pigmented. It's difficult to get into the bottom there. Make that go all the way. And then we're gonna do one here. Coming straight down. Try to keep the pressure even on your brush so it doesn't expand out too much side to side, so that it matches the width of the other plaid. The corners are a little more difficult. I'm just gonna come down with a straight line. Okay, and now we're gonna go across. We'll do right here, side to side, all the way to the end, and down here, even because I want to get to the bottom there, and do a little one on the bottom. These little parts are harder, these little slivers of a straight line. There we go. Cute little plaid heart. And what else? We have the Be Mine stems. And then the last part is we're going to do the backdrop. So let's do some stems. Get a little more of this pretty blue-green. And, you know, I kind of want, I only have one stem in here. I want to do a few more. And have some little flowers at the bottom here. And here we'll add a little yellowy green to these. And we're gonna have, this one's gonna come down, down. Maybe add a little blue to that so it's not exact same color. Okay, I think I'm going to use actually my little brush up here with these because I want them to be little dainty, delicate sprigs of green with this, and even have some greenery coming up off of here. Have a few little, boop. There we go. Very light, very pretty. And this, let's see. Oh, here's what we have to do. We have to do the middles of these flowers. Get the green out of there and get a nice bright yellow. Okay, well, lots of pigment and just a little water. You know what, I'm gonna just drop these in the middle, even a little more, a little brighter. There we go. And maybe come over here with some more, a little more bright yellow over here. It's really hard to go dark to light in watercolor. So, oh, you know what? We're going to do some little, maybe some blue flowers down here. Just a few little. Cute little flowers. One that goes this way, boop, boop. And maybe some cute five or little kind of crocusy flowers over here. And maybe I'll even add a little mini flower here. There we go. And put some greenery on these with a little tiny little bits of green sticking out. Okay. Let's see. We've got the green, the purple. Now we're going to do the shadow under the bottom and then the barn background. Oh, I'm getting excited by this. This is fun. Let's see. I'm going to come along with the cleanest water I can muster out of here and wet this bottom part, which is going to be like a little floral farm decorating, flower decorating table. Something that's just very basic. Try to get a somewhat straight faded line back here. And we're going to come in with some purple shadow underneath all of these. Boop. And oh, how did I don't think I even wet that there. There we go. I like to put a nice kind of darker shade of purple under here. I don't want to color the table much. Let's see. I may just keep it kind of a suggestion of a purpley. I don't want to come in with a weird brown or yellow. So I think I'm just going to leave it like that. And we're going to come in, last thing, with a couple of gray pencils, a light gray and a dark gray, and a ruler. And we're going to start, that's wet. Try not to drag the water around. We're going to start with a line in the middle because the mistake I made on the except that I've got watercolor pencil. Actually, that might look nice. We're going to do a line, and it's going to show through the back of the glass because this is the wall, the farm wall that is behind these flowers. Now we're going to come down here and here. A little darker up here. Here's my darker color. I'm going to come in and do a touch darker in a few spots. Okay, there's 1, 2. We'll try to get this one. This line's here, that line's there. We're gonna have them a little closer together. Boop, boop, boop. And we'll have a 5th line at the very end here. And just kind of going back and forth with my pencils, and a 5th line here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll move this one over here. And it's a little wet, which is fine because I don't mind. Did that go along? Went along my line there. Okay, so now we have the suggestion of farm slats back here. And let's see. They're a little not even, again, in the interest of, let's get a clean brush, and let's use this brush. We'll clean off my bigger brush, and I'm just going to run along the line of this is a watercolor pencil, okay? And I made the mistake last time of using a really weird blue in the middle here. So I'm going to try to avoid my twig in here. I'm going to leave the rest like that. Let's get this one wet, and we'll wet this one down. Okay, now what I do is I come back in with like a light gray and a dark gray, and we're just gonna add a few little suggestions of like wood. These are like farmhouse, the back of the wood that goes up the wall of the farmhouse, of a farmhouse. And so I'm trying to, or what I like to do is get some gray. I don't even mind if there's a little pink in there. We're gonna get some of the pencil, and you can even, let's see, you can wet the pencil. This kind of, I like the way this works. It gives you little areas of interest with the slats. I don't want to go overboard because the one of them that I ruined, I went overboard. So I just want to like dry brush this gray. You come over the lines, try to get a little bit of this gray on there, and just dry brush some detail, wet this a little bit, and carry it over to give you, this one's real brown, or real gray, not brown. And I don't mind if I do touch this brown, because if you have a real farmhouse, which I do, the walls are not clean and bright white. In fact, we can even come in with a little, let me see if I can get a little gray in here. I might even come in with a touch like of a purpley gray. Let's see about floating a little color back here. These pencils, to me, sometimes they're fun, sometimes they're not. They're great for doing things like these twigs too. And let's kind of try to drag this out a little. Sometimes you really have to work these pencils. This is going to be kind of a pink backdrop, which is not terrible. I'm just going to drag this around to make it so this line of farmhouse wall is not just, you want it to be kind of like this with some highlights and lowlights. And you can go in again and kind of deepen certain areas if you want. But I just want it to be like suggested. This farm wall can come this way, goes that way. All right. Maybe this, pull out a little farm wall this way. All right. I'm actually liking that kind of little suggestion of some element, some pattern in the background. Now, I don't like the way it's glowing around these, like kind of comes to a stop around these flowers. So I'm going to kind of drag that in even a little bit more. Drag it into here. And we can even come in, if you don't like it so dark, there we go. That pulls off a little of that pink. Oh, I like that. You know, sometimes you get these pleasant surprises. I like that, like that. We'll lighten the modeling around here just a touch. Can even kind of scrub it. There we go. Is that everything I wanted to do on here? I've got the Be Mine. I could go around this. I think I'll leave it. Let's take this off and reveal. I think maybe we should go under this one more time with a little. This is where I mess things up. Let me do one more thing. But you know what? We're going to do one more little touch of blue under here and under here. And it can actually even show through your glass, because you would see that shadow through the bottom there. Let's get some water, drag this out so that it's not a hard line, the bottom of your shadow. I'm a big fan of purples and pinks. I'm liking that. I wonder if you know what, I'm going to do a few little leaves right here. Let's see. Let me get some real wet, pretty. And how did I do that?